Hello everyone! Welcome to my pregnancy vlog. I am pregnant with baby number 3 and I'm super excited. I honestly don't even know how to start this because I've never done a vlog before. Like I said, had 2 previous pregnancies. I didn't vlog any of them, but I love watching vlogs, especially pregnancy vlogs. And so I just really feel like this is something I want to do for this little nugget. So here we go, I guess. I wanted to do a video on the 2-week wait because I don't know about any of you, but the 2-week wait is awful. It's terrible. I literally felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. Like all I could think about was, am I pregnant? Am I pregnant? I might be pregnant. Oh my gosh, am I pregnant? I think I felt something. Like, what is this symptom? And like Googling all the earliest symptoms possible, watching every single YouTube video about, you know, my 2-week wait symptoms and all of that. So I know that every woman is different and whatnot, but I enjoyed watching them, so I figured I would film one for you in hopes that it will help you. So we were trying for, I've wanted to have another baby for quite some time. But my husband took a little convincing because we are at the point now where our children are 6 and 4, so they're getting so much more independent and we're completely phased out of the baby phase and everything. So it kind of took a little convincing. I have always wanted 3 kids. I always knew I wanted 3 kids. And that's something that we had talked about when my husband and I first met. And he was okay with, but he also was trying to convince me to be okay with too. So anyway, so once we finally both agreed that we were going to try for baby number 3, we started trying officially in January. Didn't get pregnant, and I was really bummed. I was like, oh my gosh, because our first pregnancy was a surprise. And our second pregnancy, we got pregnant the month we decided to, I don't even know if we were officially trying. It was kind of like, we're not preventing type of thing. Like, we wanted another baby, but we weren't like, I wasn't tracking anything or anything like that. And it happened right away. So I was expecting to get pregnant in January. Well, that didn't happen. And then in February, we tried again. And because I didn't get pregnant in January, I was like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? You know, all those crazy thoughts. And so I started tracking my cervical mucus more. I started tracking with OPK tests. And I also started doing BBT testing. So the basal body temperature, where you take your temperature every morning. It's very annoying. But it was really nice for me to track because in my mind, I needed to know why I wasn't getting pregnant. Like, were we not timing things properly, or is like one of us maybe not fertile, or both of us, or whatever. You know, I'm quite a bit older now than I was when I had my first 2 children. So like all of those things were going in my mind. So I just needed that for me to know, to be able to like tangibly see what was going on with my body. So we started tracking, doing all of that, and I actually think that I didn't even ovulate in February. February was a crazy month for our family. Lots and lots of crazy, really unfortunate things, and so it was very emotional, extremely emotional, and I think because of that, I don't think I ever actually ovulated. So anyway, so in February didn't get pregnant, and here we are in March. And it happened. I have a video that I sent to my girlfriends when I first, so we use Marco Polo to chat, and I have a video that I sent them like the minute I found out because my husband wasn't here and I couldn't tell my kids right away, and I needed to tell someone. I was like shaking and so excited, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to share that yet or not, but if I do, I'll probably put the link in somewhere here. so that you can see that. Or maybe I'll do a separate video. I'm not really sure how this is all gonna work. But anyway, okay, so let's get to it. You're here for 2-week wait symptoms. Let's get to it. Okay, so I will say I had more symptoms in February when I was not pregnant than I did in March. So even though I don't think I ovulated, like I didn't really realize that until March because it was the first month that I had done the BBT charting, so I didn't really know what my chart was supposed to look like. But I had a lot of symptoms, and I think it was due to my body kept trying to ovulate and it just wasn't happening. And so I had like a lot of discomforts. So looking back, I think that's what I was experiencing, but I thought I was pregnant. So then in March, for my 2-week wait symptoms, and this is gonna be TMI, so if you are not into that, just leave now. Okay, so mostly my 2-week wait symptoms started about 5 days past ovulation. So I was tracking my, again, cervical mucus, basal body temperature, and I was doing the ovulation predictor kit tests. So I had a pretty spot on, like I knew when I was ovulating due to cervical mucus and the OPK tests. In the month previous, I kept getting like, it was like a low and then high and then peak for a few days and then high and then low. And this one was low, 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 peak, like just all of a sudden. And it was not expected. It was actually a few days before when I had anticipated it would be. And it was like the weirdest thing because that morning that I got that peak, sorry for the TMI, my husband and I had, baby danced in the morning before he went to work, which literally never happens. It never ever, that does not happen. Like sometimes on the weekend or whatever in the morning, but like not during the week. And so I just thought it was really weird. And I remember like getting dressed after, and I was like, in my head, I thought like, this is it. Like, we're gonna be pregnant. Like there's a reason why we, for whatever reason, felt the need to do this morning. And like, I just knew it. I don't know. I just had like this feeling. I was like, I'm gonna be pregnant. And so when I took the OPK test later that afternoon, because you're not supposed to do them in the morning, you're supposed to do them like in the afternoon, it was peak. And the day before it had been low. So I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so weird. And so then obviously we did some more like the next coming days or whatever. But anyway, so about 5 DPO is when I started feeling symptoms. I had breast tenderness about from 1 day past ovulation, but I always get breast tenderness. Well, I didn't always, but I have the past like year or so. So that's not new to me. So I don't really attribute that to pregnancy. With my first pregnancy, I had extreme breast tenderness. Like that's how I knew I was pregnant, because my boobs hurt so bad. Like I couldn't hug people. That's how much they hurt. My second pregnancy, I don't remember having any breast tenderness like at all. I'm sure I had some, but I don't remember it at all. So far with this pregnancy, I definitely have breast tenderness, but it's not to an extreme. I would say it's pretty mild. It's noticeable, but mild. Okay, so starting 5 DPO, I really started to notice like the breast tenderness more, and my nipples were super sore, which doesn't normally happen. I also was experiencing like sharp shooting pains in my boobs for a few days. I don't know when. I don't have my app, like I'm using my phone, so I can't look on my app. But it was for like a few days. And then it was kind of gone. Oh, I did put it in here. I think it was sometime after 9 DPO that happened. But they were just like sharp shooting pains, and I was like, ooh, that's weird. Okay, so then going back to 5 DPO, sorry, this is all over the place. I noticed bloating. Like I don't normally have bloating. I mean, maybe like some bloating before my period, but not this far in advance before my period, because remember, this is only 5 days past ovulation, and it was intense, like just really uncomfortable bloating, indigestion, my stomach hurt. I felt like I couldn't really eat a lot, and then every time after I ate, I would be really, really uncomfortable. And so this started like 5 DPO and has continued through, and it's starting to get a little bit better just in the last like couple days maybe, but still pretty uncomfortable. Then I wrote down that I had cramping, which was like, it's hard to describe because it was cramping like you were getting your period, but like, I feel like it was more like a pulling sensation, but I thought I got that in February too. So, and then I ended up getting my period. So maybe it's just similar to period cramps. I don't really know, but I started that 8 DPO and that went through to about 12 DPO. And then I haven't really had cramping since. I've had some like sharp sensations. Like if I'm sitting for a really long time and then I stand up, I'll get like a sharp shooting pain in like the pelvic like groin area. But it's like for like a second and it goes away. This was like constant cramping for like a few days. I definitely had increased acne, especially like my jawline and my neck and a little bit like on my chin, which acne is not uncommon for me ever since I stopped breastfeeding my second child. I'm not sure why, hormones or whatever, but this was like definitely a noticeable increase. I thought my period was coming because of the acne. Then I started having some food cravings, which this is really strange. So when I was pregnant with my second child, I had like a really weird food aversion to avocados. Like I loved avocados and I could not eat them throughout my second pregnancy. I don't know, they just made me nauseous. And even after, so he's 4 now, even after, I've never really been able to eat them. Like I can eat guacamole or like things with avocado in it, I guess, but like eating straight avocados, like it just it makes me nauseous. And around, I don't know what day it was, I didn't write it down, but it had to have been after like 9 DPO. Oh, actually, no, I think this was, yeah, probably around like 9-10 DPO. I had like a craving for avocado, and I have been eating avocado toast like every single day since then. Like it's insane. It's so weird because I haven't been able to eat avocados for so long. So it's definitely a food craving for this pregnancy so far. I also was extremely emotional. I cried at like the slightest little things, which I am normally an emotional person, but even my husband, sorry, I keep getting like a hair that's tickling me. Even my husband like looked at me and he was like, you're pregnant. Like you're pregnant. Like as soon as I was craving the avocados and like crying about dumb stuff, he was like, you are pregnant. And I was like, don't say it to me because like I wanted to be pregnant so bad, and I was scared that like maybe we were having fertility issues or whatever since we didn't get pregnant the first 2 months. And but that's when I started to think too, like maybe I really am pregnant. So then I started on 9 DPO, I started getting lightning crotch, which I'm pretty sure isn't like supposed to come until like later in your pregnancy. And I've had it in previous pregnancies, but it was so weird. It was like a shooting sharp pain like in my vagina. Like I don't really know how to explain like where I felt it, but it just would be like sudden and like a sharp shooting pain, and I was like, ooh, like that is weird. And then I don't even like to admit this is so weird and probably disturbing, so like TMI, but from 9 DPO to about 13, maybe 14 DPO, I was experiencing I don't even know what to call them. Like it literally felt like little hopefully this is still going. My phone's got low battery. Bubbles of air, I guess you can say, like coming out of my vagina. It sounds so weird and so gross and disturbing, but I don't know how else to explain it. Like it literally was like I would just move and I'm like, oh, that felt weird, like that, like a little bubble. Like I don't know. I don't remember experiencing that with either of my other pregnancies, and it hasn't happened since then, but I don't know if it was like my cervix closing up or I have no idea. it was very strange, but it happened and it was noticeable. Like, I remember telling my husband, he was like, that's weird. So I wanted to share it with you in case you're experiencing the same thing. I did see on a couple forums a few ladies saying that they had gotten that too, and they had gotten their big fat positive after that. So I don't know if it's a normal symptom or we're just weird. I don't know, but I'm being honest. Then the fatigue started about 9 days past ovulation. I remember it was a Friday night and we were supposed to go celebrate a friend's birthday, and I literally was so exhausted. I couldn't. I texted her and I was like, we're not going to be able to make it. Like, I'm just so tired. We're going to go to bed. I literally laid the kids down. Their bedtime is 7, and I went to sleep. And then on Monday, I found out that I was pregnant. So I don't know if that was like implantation or what, but my body was exhausted. I've definitely been taking naps when I can. So yeah. What else? I've been very moody and like irritable. So it's I can get irritable pretty easily to begin with, but this is more of like a switch. Like, right, my kids will do something to irritate me and I like go from 0 to 100. And I don't know like how to control it. So it's very strange. Like, normally I can kind of control that. So I've definitely been noticing very moody and irritable, and that is still kind of continuing on through right now. It's gotten better the last like day or two, but it's still there. So then we come to 11 DPO, which is when I got my big fat positive. And the reason I tested, so my plan was to test 12 days past ovulation because last month I had seen so many negatives. I started testing like 8 DPO, and I'd seen so many negatives that it was really depressing, like on top of a just really depressing month for me. And so I told myself that I'm going to wait until 12 DPO. I'm not going to test. I want it, you know, if it's a negative on 12 DPO, then chances are I'm probably not pregnant, and I can just move on. So 12 DPO was St. Patrick's Day. And so I was like, oh, it's kind of like a lucky day, you know, whatever, like I'm gonna wait. Well, 11 DPO was a Monday. I didn't use first morning urine. I was going on with my day. I had no intentions of testing, and I was eating breakfast, and all of a sudden I got super nauseous. And this is the only time I've really gotten nauseous throughout this whole pregnancy so far. Thank God. So it was really strange. I don't know why it happened or whatever, but I got super nauseous. And I remember texting my husband and I was like, I just got super nauseous at breakfast. And he already thought I was pregnant. So he was like, you're pregnant. And he's like, why don't you just take a test? And I was like, no, I'm waiting until 12 DPO. And then I got online and I was looking at all these YouTube videos and vlogs and everything. And I was like, why am I waiting? Like, I'm just going to test. I'm just going to do it. And I remember like before I pulled, like, cause I covered it because I didn't want to see him, before I opened it, I like said a little prayer and I was just like, please, like, I've wanted this for so long. Like, I'm ready, like, you know, whatever. And I remember taking it off and I just was like in disbelief. Like, it was a faint line, but it wasn't like you know, those very, very, very faint lines. And people are like line eyes and like, you can't really see it that much. This was like clear as day. There was a line there. And I just, oh my God, like I was so excited. And also I was like, my husband's not here. And like now I have to wait until he gets home because that's my cat in the back, because I didn't want to tell him over the phone. And so it was just like a whole crazy mix of emotions. And now with everything like going on in the world, it's kind of been really like anxiety producing, but I've been trying to stay as calm as possible. But like when we were trying this wasn't really all an issue. So I don't know. So it'll be an interesting journey, and I'll do a different video with like, maybe I'll share that video that I sent to my girlfriends just so you guys can see my reaction when I found out. I didn't tape telling my husband and I didn't tape telling my kids, but my husband's super excited. My kids are over the moon. They literally like kiss my belly and sing to it all the time. And we just told them like a couple days ago, and like every time they see me, they're like, how's the baby? And they're super, super, super cute, which makes my heart just like so happy. Anyway, okay, so moving on. So I got my positive on 11 DPO, and then starting 11 DPO and moving forward, like I still can tell I definitely have like a little bit of a like stuffy nose, more than usual, but like not anything crazy that I like need to do anything about it. I just have noticed that it's been there. I also have noticed that I've been very out of breath. So reading, like even doing this, I feel like I have to keep taking breaths. Like when I'm reading books to my kids, I get super out of breath. Or like in the morning, we homeschool. So I know everyone's homeschooling right now, but we normally homeschool. It's something we started this year. And like when we do our circle time and everything in the morning, we do like songs and dance, and I am so out of breath, which is super weird because I feel like I shouldn't be out of breath this soon in my pregnancy. But when I look it up, apparently that's a thing. So I have been experiencing that. So basically from 11 DPO when I got my big fat positive until now, and I am currently 5 weeks and 1 day pregnant. Or I believe, I don't know, it's on my phone. I can't remember what like CD I am. I don't know. Anyway, I am 8 days past my missed period. I do know that. I have been experiencing, my main symptoms have been fatigue, mood swings, and being emotional, the bloating and indigestion, and like just general stomach discomfort, shortness of breath, stuffy nose, and then like the mild breast tenderness. That's really it. And like it sounds like a lot of things that I just listed off, but honestly, I feel great. I feel really awesome. I feel so blessed. I am so excited to be on this journey, and I can't wait to do more videos with you guys and share this with the world, because by the time you see this, I will be much farther along. I'm recording this now, but I'm not going to share it until we've obviously told all of our family and friends and whatnot. So yeah, I will put a link in this video to the my video when I first found out, if I decide to share that. And then I will also do a video showing my line progression, and I'll show with my OPKs and with my pregnancy tests, because actually I forgot to mention, and then I'll let you go because this video is getting very long, is that I started to get positive OPKs before I got the pregnancy test, and that was another thing that alerted me to like take the test, because it was my second day getting a positive OPK, and I was like, that is super weird. Like, I don't think that's supposed to happen. So I will share a whole video on that, but thanks so much for tuning in. I can't wait to share this journey with you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.